morning, George.
Good morning.
How are we doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's start by talking about your week.
Okay. Well, this weekend, our kids came home and we had spent a lot of quality time together, which was nice because we hadn't been able to do that in a while. So then went back to work after the suspension, and that seemed to go pretty well. There wasn't a whole lot of stress this week. I think they tried to kind of make sure I didn't have any stress, So I didn't have as many like tasks or jobs this week, which was kind of nice. But I hope in the future I can keep building on that. And then everything at home went well this week. Get to do a lot of my hobbies I like to do this week, and so overall it's a very good week.
Well, good. So you said that they lessened some of your duties at
Mhm.
work. So which duties did they lessen?
I wasn't in charge of as many people this week. Just kind of kept it to a smaller group, and I kind of just managed them more than like everyone. So that felt better, just to kind of just focus on little things, and so it went well.
Any other duties that were lessened, or is that the only one?
That was it.
That was it. Okay. So you feel like did that actually benefit you? That they took away some of that responsibility?
I feel it might just for a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I think as time goes on, I'll probably just keep, get all those back. But for right now, it's kind of there too. With this coming back from the suspension, everything just kind of starting slow and come back stronger.
So after you came back from your suspension, how did people respond? Did they treat you any differently? Did they act?
No, a few just kind of asked, and those were some of the closer ones, which I was going to tell anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But then some of them they didn't ask or anything. So.
Okay, so nothing.
Nothing too big.
How about your supervisor? Did you get a chance to speak with him?
I did on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
He just kind of asked how things were going, if I'm coming back from suspension, how it felt and everything. So we just kind of talked a little bit about just stuff in life.
So how are you feeling now?
I feel better. Feel better that that's all in the past. I don't have to worry about it or be nervous about it anymore. I can just focus on my job and life at home. So.
Mm-hmm. How are things going at home?
They're going good. Excuse me. When the kids came home, that was nice to see them. Both of them hadn't been home at the same time in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then during the week with my wife and everything went well. Nothing really big happened. It's kind of just a normal week with the same stuff that always goes on.
Mm-hmm. So what kinds of things did you do with your kids?
We went out to eat on Saturday night as a family, and we saw a movie. And then on Saturday we had a big cookout. Invited some of the neighbors over and stuff like that. So overall, it was just a good weekend.
Mm-hmm. So I noticed you've been yawning a lot. Have you been losing any sleep? How's your sleeping been lately?
Not bad. The past few nights have just kind of been up late working on stuff at home. But usually I get enough sleep.
Good. That's good. So anything upcoming this week? Any events going on in your life?
There's a big meeting, there's a big management meeting at work that they have every year, just to kind of go over what's happening at work, like evaluations and stuff, with the general manager of the company and stuff like that. So those meetings are kind of nervous about those, but I mean the only thing that they already know about what happened with the incident, but I mean I think they put that behind me now. So just kind of see my overall how I'm doing at work.
So it's is it more performance evaluations? Yeah. Okay. What other kinds of things do they talk about?
Then just and then I'll talk to the employees and kind of get their perspective on how management's doing, and then we just have other just meetings about this other stuff in the company, how other branches are doing or how we can perform better in areas and stuff like that. So it's like a 3-day long kind of conference thing that they have.
Okay. All right. So have you had any chances to use any of your coping techniques this week?
Never really had anything stressful happen at work, which was good. And there was a lot. I mean, I feel like I communicated well at work this week.
Yeah, but your coping skills, specifically, was there anything during the week or maybe with your kids when you felt you needed to utilize one of them?
Well, my son he had some problems that we talked about. He's been kind of stressful with school, and so I kind of told him about what I've been working on, and so I told him about the coping skills I've been using, and so he said he was going to try those out this week. So hopefully that those he can use those to his advantage and make his life easier.
Yeah, that's good that you were able to share some of those with your son. Which one specifically did you talk to him about?
The counting to 10 and just kind of removing yourself. Because I said those kind of work good for me, so maybe those would work for him.
So he's having some stress with his schoolwork?
Yeah, he just kind of getting a lot right now. And not had a lot of time to do it, so maybe some time management too would help him.
How did that feel when you were able to share some of the things you've learned with him?
It felt good because I know it works for me, so try to do my best to help him out. I went through a hard time there with that, and those things seem to help. So if they help me, I think they could help him, or maybe he can find different ways of doing it, but by using those too.
How is he currently? Like how has he previously handled all the stress?
I'm not really sure. Because he was just saying he was just really stressed when we were talking. I don't really know how he handled it before. So maybe he's already tried those. I don't know, but maybe they can work.
Yeah. How about your daughter? How's she doing?
Good. She seemed like school's going well for her. Doesn't seem like she's too stressed right now. But she's just a freshman, so I feel like as the schooling goes on, maybe she will, and maybe I could share those with her too. As if she ever does get in that situation.
Yeah, definitely. So let's talk about your communication skills then this week. How would you gauge them?
Say overall pretty well. This past week at work, I didn't really. Since I was just with a smaller group, I communicated well with the group there. So, but then, like with the kids over the weekend, I felt like we talked a lot, so we got a lot of communicating done. And I feel like it's just getting better with my wife too. But then I guess I'll have to work on it quite a bit for this week, like with the conference coming up, just to make sure like I'm heard and they understand what I'm saying and stuff like that. Just make sure like my tone's good, and so maybe just do a little practicing before that, like with in meetings before that, to start practicing a little bit.
But do you feel like you've made more progress on your verbal or your nonverbal communication?
I'd say my verbal, just talking more, just being more open. And I'd say, I wouldn't say my nonverbal's bad, but that's improved too. But I'd say like the most has been the verbal.
The verbal. Okay. So what do you notice that you've improved upon with your verbal communication?
Like when I'm talking and I look at people, like they actually understand what I'm saying. Like they don't look confused. And it's just I feel better like when I'm talking to people, knowing what I'm saying or what they know what is meant to be understood. just like at home with my wife too. I mean, she knows what she can just understand what I'm saying, like, or I just talk more about it.
So then, what things do you think you still need to work on?
I'd say like basically my presentation, the way I do this sometimes. Maybe I don't. Like maybe I'm still not as direct to people. I made my tone a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. So your directness and your tone, you just need to work on. Okay. All right. So our treatment plan that we created a few weeks ago, we chose to focus on your communication skills and your coping skills. And I feel like you've made a lot of progress in both of those. Would you say that's accurate?
Yes.
Okay. So do you feel like there are any updates that need to be made? Were there any new aspects of your life that you feel like you need to improve on for this last couple sessions? So maybe directness and tone then?
Yeah, I would just like more directness with my communication.
And your tone?
Yeah. Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
I just feel like sometimes when I talk, I'm just kind of broad, like I don't narrow it down maybe as much.
Should be more specific.
Yeah.
Okay. And your directions or just regular
I think
conversation?
just everything.
Okay.
That's within directions too.
Okay. So those are in your tone. How do you feel like you need to, or what do you need to improve on?
Maybe just be like louder. And it's more like, just more specific, like when I talk, and like just make more like people can understand me. Like I talk like lower. Maybe I get too loud sometimes. Just kind of find a
happy medium
there.
Okay. So we've identified those two things. There's a couple of little updates. What about your coping skills? Are there any? Do you feel like those are pretty well?
I feel like they work when I need them to.
Okay, so no updates with those. Okay, that's that. I would agree with that. Sounds good. Okay. So then, tell me some instances in which you can practice being more direct.
I think like in my meetings, like doing that, and just even like talking one-on-one with someone. Practice it more maybe with the one-on-one, and then move it to a larger group. That way I can get comfortable with it. Like talking to one person about what they need to do, and keep kind of going with that, and then bring it all together in a big meeting.
So you're talking specifically about work then?
Yeah, I feel like at home I'm pretty direct.
Okay, what about with your friends or when you're engaging in your hobbies with others?
I think I could probably work on it there a little bit too.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't talk a lot during those just because I don't know what to say, or I'm not as direct.
Okay. And what about your tone? Where sometimes you feel like you could practice working on that?
Maybe kind of work on that with the directness too, like one-on-one. Kind of maybe try to do those together. And then maybe at home I could work on that a little bit too.
So working home. So is tone something people have told you that you need to improve on, or is that just something
I just kind of feel like I need to. And maybe it's just something like I'm self-conscious about. Maybe it is good. I'm not. Maybe just to me it doesn't feel like I have the greatest tone. I could have something better.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's a very feasible thing to work on throughout the week. All right. So then for these last few minutes, let's just talk. Is there anything else you'd like to talk about today?
can't think of a whole lot. Everything has been going pretty well lately. So I don't think so.
So the only big thing you have in your upcoming week is that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you're feeling a little anxious about it?
Yeah, just see like how they think I'm performing. I mean, I feel like the only thing that's really happened is that incident. But other than that, I mean, throughout the whole year, I felt like it was a good year, performance-wise, and through the company.
So then, after following the evaluation, will they speak with you privately, or do you?
I'm not sure yet. Sometimes they do it privately. Sometimes they do it like a group, like a group evaluation.
Okay.
So hopefully they do both.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of see where our location does and individually.
Mm-hmm. So then, will they give you like strengths and weaknesses, or what do they?
Yeah, we get like a performance sheet, and they kind of tell you what you lacked or what you need to, or what you're good at, so you can kind of. So.
What have your reviews been like in the past?
Pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
The communication was only one of them I could improve on, but usually everything else is fairly well at with management and things like that. So overall, it's usually pretty well.
So they usually mention something about your communication skills?
They did like right when I first started,
okay.
And then it kind of got better, and then now it's kind of dropped off a little bit again.
Were there any specifics that they mentioned with those, or just
it's
overall?
just overall. They didn't really go into any details into it.
Okay, but you feel more directness and tone or something. Okay, and then was there anything else that they mentioned?
Not really. I mean, not in years past. I mean, I don't know if something will change this year or not, but mostly it's just been like communication is like a weakness, and then everything else, has been okay here.
Okay, so that's the only thing. All right. Mm-hmm. Do you have anything to look forward to for this weekend? Do you have any big plans?
Not really. I think I'm at to work this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So can be busy with that all weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And then I mean, it'll kind of because since there's that conference at work, we won't really be that busy in all the meetings. So I mean, it kind of won't be as stressful week at work. But with that, it kind of evens it out.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, it should be a pretty easy week coming up.
And you definitely have felt better since that meeting last week has been over.
Yeah. I feel like there's just weight lifted off my shoulders with that, so I don't have to worry about that anymore.
Mm-hmm. So. All right. So next week will be our last session.
Okay.
So we'll kind of give you a little refresher, and we'll touch on everything that we've talked about. We'll go back over your treatment plan, and we'll assess how well you think you've done on the issues that we identified.
Okay.
And we'll talk about ways in which you've been able to utilize the skills that we've learned, and then how you see yourself continuing to improve on these issues in the future.
Okay.
And then if there's, any other thing that you want to talk about, we'll touch on that.
Okay.
So I'll make these updates to your treatment plan, just working on your directness at work and with your friends or engaging in your hobbies. And then you mentioned just explaining yourself more, like with directness.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I think you'll maybe find some time to practice that this week at some point.
I should be able to.
And then the other update that we wanted to make was working on your tone. So at work and at home, speaking a little louder.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Just being heard better.
Okay. So I will make those updates, and then I will email you a copy of the updates that I've made. Does that sound okay? All right. So, is there anything else that you'd like to talk about today?
Excuse me. All I can think of, just kind of hopefully the meetings at work go well, and other than that, it should be a fairly easy week. We shouldn't have much stress, and hopefully I can get practiced on my communication skills.
Okay, That's great. I hope your meeting goes well. Look forward to hearing about it next week.
Okay.
And you have a good rest of your day. Okay?
You too.